So Sebastian, are you going to start talking?
Well, I was waiting for you. I'm polite, you know. So I try to be polite sometimes, not interrupting, but interesting. And don't start Nick on buses, okay? He will tell you all his stories about his bus stories. Cool. Hello everyone. How do we stop this presentation and QA and thing? How can I kill it? I can't kill it. Crazy. So today, demos. Who's got some
Am I allowed
demos?
to demo?
What?
Am I allowed to demo? Maybe.
Depends what.
Can I demo my VNext stuff?
Okay.
Or not yet.
No, we can talk about it. Yeah, sure. You can demo.
Maybe. I'll think about it.
Nick.
I would also have a demo.
Ooh.
A small one.
Zoltan. Oh, thank you, Benedict. Demo. Turn your mic up. Oh yes, so maybe we want some feedback from Bertrand. Some topics also to discuss. Oh, and there is a topic left from last week. Let me check that because this one. Yep. Okay. So what I have on my agenda, Zoltan Dimo will ask Bertrand for some feedback about his session at Barcelona TechEd. We want to talk about Hangouts versus Lync. We want to talk, so Zoltan would like to talk, unless he doesn't want to talk about it anymore, about the display level in logs. I will explain the issue and new things, but we'll start with the usual code check status. So I need to share. So Benedek, blink when you can see my screen. It should be very fast. This is not blinking.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, because might impact the next discussion, but I think, as I said last week, I've been moved to another Lync data center, and it seems to be much faster than it used to be. So just tell me if you see any dropouts from the call. Status. 6 days ago, here. So Sipke on HQL. For the recycle bin. Okay, so Sipke is using recycle. Is using HQL in the recycle bin. Okay. Model binding, we don't care. This is the recycle bin stuff. Recycle bin in the rollback branch. Yep. Is it in the rollback branch? Because I didn't see these changes in the rollback branch.
Yeah, it's still in the rollback branch. Let me know when you want to merge it into 1x.
Updating select list shape with support for select list group. How can you do that? Projection elements, because I have asked for it. So it's a way to render a projection inside a layout. Owin. Oh yes, so Zoltan has started some work on the Owin branch, so that the spec test will work. And we will talk about the status later. It's blocked. JavaScript errors, JavaScript stuff, ReCaptcha form element, mandatory, because whenever you want to create a form now, you can drag and drop a ReCaptcha element. That's a lot of code for just a ReCaptcha form element.
Well, yeah, there's some more other code that to facilitate things. It's makes it easier. Future elements.
This is a pull request from Rudolph, adding the required class. This is another pull request. What's his name, by the way? We don't know. So this is about the new build script, which are much better. They do the same thing, but better. Other pull request. Yeah, little glitch in the display of features when they are missing dependencies. The sizes were not correct. This is grid element settings from Sipke. We don't care. Tokens. There are some bugs. Sipke, I can show you. Submission token provider. We don't care. ReCaptcha. Yes, this is new. So this change, and we can talk about it. When you enable the layout module, which is not enabled by default, it will automatically attach the layout to the page content type. So this way, when you create a page, you will see the layout. You won't have to add the part to the page. Does anyone disagree with that? I can repeat to provide some more context if you missed it.
Yeah, please repeat. I was typing in a message.
Well, you made it, so you should know why. So today you have the page content type to create pages. This is kind of wrong, but that's how we call it. So page in Orchard is like a body with tags which has a URL, so not a route. So this is some routed content. Now, if you enable the layout module, the page will have automatically the layout part. So when you will create a page, you will be able to define the body, and you will have a layout where you can place your stuff in. Okay? It's like a default behavior. Nobody complains, so that's fine.
What does this mean from the admin side? So if there is an administrator editing a page, will there be any excessive UI or anything?
Any what?
Excessive UI?
Yeah, so when you enable the layouts feature, it will attach that layouts part, so you will see a layouts editor underneath the body part, which is probably what you want if you enable layouts. And if you don't want it, you can, of course, delete the part from the page definition. But we think that if you enable layouts, that the majority of the cases you will want, or the majority of the users will want to use that part. And
So
this way it's easier. It's easier to remove than figure out which part to attach to which type for, novice users.
You have to think about the fact that people who use the page content type, as it is right now by default, and the layout module usually are the same population, and they want the layout in the page. Because if you enable the layout module and you just saw this new thing, layout, which is a reusable layout, you will not know how to use that. So as a default user, I install Orchard, I enable the layout module if it's not by default, to be discussed also. And when I create a page, because this is the first thing I will see, it's the only thing available, I can see my layout, and by the way, I can add stuff, and you see. Otherwise, you will have to go in the content definition, add the layout part to anything, and surely the page.
Yeah, an alternative idea that's also being suggested in the chat is introducing a new content type, but then you will have something that is like a page, but with a layout, and then you will
So we discussed about it. We could call it a layout page, but yes, you will have the page and the layout page, and the layout page is the same as a page, where you have a layout, which is optional actually. So let's add it to the page. And it's non-breaking. So if you already had pages, it will not break how the current page will display.
So if there is nothing defined in the layout editor, nothing will be displayed, right? So no default container or anything.
And it shouldn't, but I'll double check to make sure that's the case.
Triple. Make it triple.
I'll triple check.
So now the related question, should layout be enabled by default when you create a new, let's say, default site or blog recipe? What do people think?
Is layout the right name for it? Would users, like stupid users, know what a layout is?
I've discussed it with Sipke also actually, and the result of discussion was yes, this is the best name we can use right now. We thought about, so there are two things, okay? There are the reusable layouts and the content items which have layouts, like page. And so we talk about something more than just that, but we postpone it for later. I will explain. So layout is the reusable layout. It's like a template or master page, but we can't call it template because we already have a notion of template in Orchard. This is the Razor templates. Okay, and there is a module called templates. So layout is fine because people understand what layout is. And we will also talk about having a layout page, but because we say it's better to actually have a layout in a page, we don't need a layout page. People can still create that, but this way we have page and we have layout. And then when I create my page, if I already have a layout existing, here I can reuse the layout. And what is that? Sipke, it's called template in the UI, so it's not really consistent. We should fix it. Use layout here.
I added
Yep, or use existing layout. Okay, and yeah, that's how it should be called. What I discussed also with Sipke is maybe this thing layout should not be new. But maybe like we do for taxonomies, widgets and everything, list, it should be on the left side here, like layouts. So you could see all your custom layouts. So it can be done later. Okay, so we don't really care right now. At the same time, we can list the layouts here if we want. It's just that having a new layout is kind of, I'm not sure we want that here. Like the projection, you know, well, projection makes sense a page, but layout is not routable. So I kind of don't like it to be here, but there is no better solution right now. So this is the state. Layout will be here, called layout. Page will have a layout. Form is routable, so that's good here. Projection is routable too, so that's good here too. Layout is kind of weird, but people understand what layout means.
My only concern here would be that once the developer gets more into Orchard, there will be now two things called layout, well, the layout items and the layout part, and also the shape-related layout, what we called layout forever.
Oh, the theme layout, you mean?
Yeah, so as I also written, work context.layout, the layout shape. I don't have a better idea, but
yep.
I think this is something that might be confusing.
Yes, maybe. At the same time, when you go and type work context.layout, we could expect that they have a good knowledge of what they are doing and what the work context.layout is. That it's different from the layout module.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about the communication, because also currently when we use the word core in the discussion board, for example, we always specify that core as in the core modules, core as in the system core, because that's also an overused word and the source of confusion.
Yep. Looking at the chat. Yeah, so this comment is not bad. Lots of things could be grouped. This menu is out of hand. Okay. We could have a tree and group by different things, and we agree on that. I think this is the hidden message.
The thing is, when you're creating when you've got that new tab, what you're saying is that I'm creating a new content item that does something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, layout, yes. I mean, layout's a content item, right?
Correct.
But
layout, it is like the page content type. It just has less parts, and it has a content type setting called usable as master or something, or use as template. That's other than that, it's just a content type, like any other.
Yeah, maybe it's fine there for now, but
as I said,
you could even attach the other out part to the layout, and then your layouts become your layout.
But you don't want that. That's not the point of this. That's not the point of this thing. You can do something like this, but that's not. We want one which is not routable, because it's just a master page. Okay.
Right.
It's reusable across content, and the content itself is routable. The issue here is this one is not routable and still is new, and the rest of the items which are in new are usually stuff that are routable or part of your site content.
Right.
The knowledge of your site, not UI stuff. Here it's purely UI stuff. It's how to organize something. It's not content. It's organization. That's why it's weird in this context. And the only solution we have to fix everything is to create the content tree, to have the content tree as first class. And yes, we will have that. That's why I will not care too much about it, because about trying to find a solution to that which will require a lot of coding to put it somewhere else and make it more consistent, because we can do it more consistent than the content tree. But when we have the content tree, it will be fixed. We might have different categories of, I don't know, new stuff, content stuff, layout stuff, content organization stuff, and content definition stuff. So, and then we will be able to really organize the navigation of this menu. Oh, this is not a layout page. Yep, exactly. This is a master page. A template. Layout is not a page. It's not routable. You can't access it with a URL. I'm not sure the WordPress has that. So, for instance, in Sitefinity has the notion of reusable layout, and it doesn't appear because you have, from what I know, you have to use a tool to create a file that you upload to your website. So you can't create a layout from your website. You just reuse what you have created from a tool.
Is that the WebForms master page that you upload?
Yes, you upload some master page, and you see the master page is here. in the list when you create a new content, where you can use a layout, you see them here. With our stuff, you can create it there.
What's elements?
I think we explained that last week.
Okay, that's what you talked about last week. Okay.
It's a reusable library of elements.
I remember.
Okay. Call it so you can reuse the same content over and over into different layouts. Example, address. I want to use my address in lots of different pages and whatever which has a layout. I can reuse the same one everywhere.
Okay, that's fine.
I hope crap, it's not XML. Okay. Question again, should we have layouts enabled by default for new websites? So if you upgrade to 1.9, it will not be enabled because it's not a new website, but part of the default recipes could have layout enabled, could have DynamicForms enabled. What do you think?
I think it's a good idea, but without the addition to the page content type. Because now we are talking about beginners or initial setups where you want to have a focused user experience.
I don't agree on that. I think the layout should be part of the page. Like we have a default page content type, because if I follow you, I would agree, and I will also remove the page content type. Because because we have the page content type, we should have the layout inside the page.
Does the layout replace the layout file that's inside of the theme machine?
Nope. A theme layout.
Oh, is it just within the content section?
This is just a content layout, yes. This is just a content layout.
Right.
Not the theme layout. George,
what loads on default at the moment? There's quite a lot of stuff that already loads up, right?
Just to answer George first. George is at the same position of Zoltan. We should not have the layout part added to the page, to anything. But again, page is a very specific thing, which is a default content type that we create, expecting people will want to create what they call pages. People who call their pages don't understand what a page is. They are dummy users, okay? Dumb users. We are advanced users. we understand the web. You should not have something called page because it doesn't make sense. Because we have something called page and we won't remove it, I think we should also have the layout part inside this kind of thing called page. The first thing you should do when you create a beautiful website is to delete this thing called page, or you know what it is.
My only concern with doing this, attaching the layout part by default to the page type, or when you create a new website, is that if you now start adding elements to the layouts part, for example, the body part, you will see the body part twice. So you think, okay, I have this nice layout canvas tool where I can lay out my elements, and then you start laying out the parts, you will see suddenly the body part twice if you add the body part element. And for that to fix, you will actually need a theme that's compatible with this layout part so that it presents itself as you would expect.
So maybe for the new website we could remove the body part.
But if you remove the body part, you can't add a body part element currently. We discussed this limitation because it returns the elements, the part elements based on the parts associated with the current content type.
If you have a new website and the page doesn't have a body part but has a layout, people will
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Just
Then,
add
because
new text and HTML and stuff in their layout.
that will work. And that will work beautifully because the body part is there's an HTML element, there's a markdown element, there's a text area element, there's many more options that you have.
Yes, and we are just talking about the page content type. Just to answer Christian, this is just the page content type.
Right. Yeah. Then it would make sense, and then it will be a nice experience.
So what I'm suggesting is that you see page content definition. I will edit page and remove the body part. Rules, forms, dynamic form disable. So the experience I'm suggesting, okay. Here, if I set up a new website, I will see layout page projection. This is okay if layout was enabled by default. And when I go create a page directly, I will see title and I will see layout. I will see that actually. So something, okay, the goal is that people will know that when they click plus, they could add some paragraph, text, HTML, whatever they want.
We could even add the HTML element there by default, so you can instantly.
Not sure.
With a default, well, currently we create a page content item with a body part with default content. We could do that also by default using a recipe maybe, so that you will have instant content. Because currently you wouldn't have any content, so you know it's easier for new users to start with a page with default, with a home page at least, with that content.
So George, I'm forcing the new users which are discovering Orchard to use the layout because that's what they want. I'm trying to convince them to use Orchard. If you know Orchard and you know you don't want a page content type, or you know you don't want the layout on your page, you know you can remove it or create your own content types if you want. This is what I am expecting you to do, anyone to do, to create their own content types and to create their website. But for a new user who goes through the default recipe and start creating pages, these kind of users, they want to see the layout. And you as a web dev, you can configure the experience for your customer. But try to show the demo of the layout to any Orchard user. They will say, wow, great, I can customize my layout, I understand how it works, and I think it's appealing. You should enable your microphone, we could have a discussion. So you're always attaching to the page content. Yes, just the page, because page is a special animal. It will be even more special. Then either have an alternate way to create a layouted page or remove the body. Body part from the page content type. I'm suggesting that also for new websites.
What if we made a difference by saying that if a content type has body part and layout part both, then we should have I don't know, some kind of UI element to choose which to edit. So let's say you have layout, then you obviously, well, not obviously, but probably you don't want to use body part, because everything you can enter in body part you can edit to the layout in HTML. And an editor.
Can you repeat that?
So if a content type has body part and layout part both, then there could be some UI element with which you can choose which do you want to use. So you can add stuff to the layout, and then you can enter text with the visible editor. Then you don't need the body part.
Well,
there's another alternative. We could keep the body part, add the layout part, but update the theme machine to not render the body part. So so by default, the default layout will have a default configuration with a default set of elements, including the body part element. So everything will look exactly the same, but now you have the layouts part, so you can add columns, rows, move things around. So maybe that could be a good option.
I don't like having the body part and the layout part at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, because it seems
it makes sense for
it
makes sense for lots of scenarios. Okay, and I would personally have that on specific content types. But
for the page, it's just about
page.
Initial thing.
I'm just talking about page.
Right.
What do people use page for?
To display text.
Display text. Actually build something on their website that they call a page. Okay, they call it a page because it's inside the navigation, and there is a URL, and they are showing some content. And this content today is just a body part, and it's HTML, and you can try to organize an image on the right and stuff like that. But the body, which we call the body part today, is just some HTML editable content. I think they would be much happier if the body was more than just a big block of text, but something they can create columns inside and put an image on the right and put a text in the middle and stuff like this. This is what they would call a page. Okay.
If you're going to do that, then you might as well deprecate body part.
No, because body part is interesting because it has some semantic behind that. It will be used by the RSS items, for instance. You see, it makes sense. It's a field which is the main content of a routable item, of a content item. This is the main content of a content item. This
about
makes
layout
sense.
part? Is that not going to be used by RSS items as well?
No, it won't. It could, but it won't right now. So this is why
I'm going to change the default behavior if you ditch
just
one.
focusing. This is just focusing on page. So it's
the same thing, right? You're replacing one with the other on a content type of page. Do you not want the same behavior except you're just adding extra stuff?
Are you talking about RSS?
Yes.
I don't want to talk about RSS. I wanted to fix the first issue. So body part is important. Agree. Sometimes you'll have body part and layout parts. The page itself, the content type name page, is the one that simple users will see and use by default. And they don't care about the semantic difference between the body part and the layout part. They just want to render some content on their website and as they wish. Okay, and us as advanced orchard users, when we build websites for other customers, we will define custom content types and know what a body part is and know what a layout part is, and maybe drag and drop a body part inside the layout part if it makes sense. So this is advanced usage.
I think it's a good idea that the layout part could take the part of could replace the body part, but I think there should be a specific user interaction for that. So check a checkbox when you want to hide the body part and to display the layout stuff instead.
So if I take you as my guinea pig, would you know how to do that? Add the layout part, remove a layout part, add a body part, remove a body part, create content types. Do you know about how to do that?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Meaning going into the content type definitions and creating your custom types as you want. Would you be able to do that today? You, Benedek?
Sure.
Say yes, because the obvious answer is yes. You know how to do that. Does anyone in the chat room doesn't know how to create a content type, attach parts, remove parts, give them names with meanings. Does anyone in the chat room doesn't know about that today? Maybe if Ilan is in the room, he will say yes. No, he's not there. So I think everyone knows about it. Now let's call someone. Call your wife or your neighbor and give him the admin and ask him to create a new page. Do you think they will understand the difference between body part and the layout and how to add the body part inside the layout? They just want to create a page on their website. And they will use the page content type. You guys, you will create custom content types. You might even delete the page content type. And it will be meaningful for your customers. Shirts, I don't know, whatever content types you can imagine. So I'm targeting the page, only the page content type, and maybe giving it a meaning that is completely stupid but will make sense for the Lambda user. You guys, you will understand that difference, and you will create your custom content types with whatever parts you want. I don't care. This is up to you. But I'm targeting the page content type, which is here for the Lambda user. The default guy who goes on Azure and says, create an Orchard website, I want to see what it looks like. Oh, I will create a page because this is the only thing that's there. Oh, well, I can lay out my content and it appears with the grid on my front end. Beautiful, I want to use Orchard.
Yeah, that would be cool. But for this, the user, this newcomer, should understand what the layout is and how layouts work. Because it will be presented with the layout editor, plus we have a page that doesn't have a body part. What if I want to display the contact info for my blog? How do I input text here? It's not trivial.
Well, that's why we start out, when you start a new installation, that's why we create a homepage with default contents, and we should do the same with the layout part. When you create a new Orchard installation, it will have a page type with a layout part with default contents, and maybe even including the 3 widgets. We now have a site first, the 3,
resource. It's really just the GUID or the identifier that's all this data gets sent to. I accidentally touched your screen. Uh-oh.
So this was not about Orchard.
Any other questions? Well, we have a question in the back.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is the user will start tinkering with the homepage, and he will now understand how to change the contents, how to move it around. And I actually would like to see, instead of having the 3 widgets we add by default using the default recipe, we don't, because they are only shown on the homepage. We show off using the layout editor how to. Well, by default, it will have a grid with three columns and 2 rows, and tweak the P machine on just a little bit so that we don't even have to do that. But I think that would show off what you can do with it, and users will understand how to work with it because they just hover and they see things appear and they will click on it.
Sebastian, how do I add content at the moment? So if on this page that you're showing me here, I want to just create a body. I just want to add text.
Don't think body. Think you are a newcomer. You want to create your page. The title, does it make sense for you? Like, about me. Okay. And here, okay, permalink, layout. What can I do? You will try to click on the plus, and maybe I hope, or maybe we have to fix it. We want to click on add element and HTML paragraph text content item media, add the media item. I hope you will click on text because this is the most obvious thing you understand. And if you type something because you want to create some content on your page, don't think in terms of body, type some content, you save, and you can see your page. It's there.
I don't think this is trivial enough for a newcomer to understand and to experiment with, because you hoped for 2 things at least here. I think we should really take a look at what WordPress does, and as far as I can remember, there is also this stuff called page where you have something like a body, and there is something different for what we have with layouts here.
But what we can do per content type, in this case for the page content type, we can configure the default JSON for this layout thing, so that could by default include a text element. So you will just added the text for the, like you have an empty body part, you start entering text. The only difference here is you will have to click the edit button for the text element and start entering content. Maybe that will be better.
Sipke, I would like to go back to what you said earlier. So basically what we started talking about is that when you enable the layouts module, then the layout part is going to be added to the page content type. That's okay. Then you mentioned that a basic orchard setup would include basically the same welcome page, which is included now, but implemented with the layout, right? So that would mean that layouts is enabled by default when you install Orchard. That's well, that's taking a huge step ahead, which I don't disagree with, but I think it's a big step, and basically it would deprecate body part in some sense.
Oh, how is it going to work with LiveWriter?
LiveWriter is more interesting for blogs, not blog posts.
Yes.
Because we would have the body part there still.
Yeah, blog post. Yeah, yeah, correct. It will still work because LiveWriter is blog post, and we are not talking about removing body part from blog post.
Okay.
So I suggest we have talked about it for too long, but everyone understands.
I have, in this case, the app depends on a SQL database.
Who is that? Sipke?
It was Antoine. I muted him.
Oh, it was Benedict who was watching a video. I don't know. So I suggest that we've talked about it for too long, but everyone understands the issues, and we should take the week to think about it, look at the other CMSs or solutions, what they do, what do the users like, and decide next week. We'll provide some different suggestions and vote on that. Okay, next topics, but I like to talk about it. It's interesting because this way we think about all the possible issues and advantages. I like it. So I see plus. What is it suggesting? Yeah, maybe the discovery of how to add content should be easier, because as you saw when I was looking for the plus and was not sure what the plus would do, it was on the bottom right. It was not really obvious. So let's think about that too. Maybe this is a solution. We have 1 week. So blah blah blah. This is done. This one very quick, because I don't see why you would. Yeah, well. So the issue that Zoltan suggested was. He suggested a feature. Why not add, please correct me, Zoltan, why not add the debug level, as in debug error 1 info, the text inside each line of the log, so that if you have 1 line of debug, 1 line of error, 1 line of 1, you see that it was from error, from debug, or from 1. I think this is useless because people use the default, which is 1 file for the error message in production and not the debug or 1 on info. So you actually just see the errors in the error file. And also, if you really want that, you can still change the log4net configuration. Zoltan is suggesting to change the log4net by default. He's pointing to the...
Yeah, let's not take too much time on this because it's not really important. But yeah, my argument here would be that the log level information is something generally needed if you are processing your logs. But then again, of course, probably you are advanced enough to change the log level. But even if you use the default configuration, you will have not just error but also fatal and warning type log entries in your log. So actually 3 times. And you could filter on that if you would have that information in the log.
Yeah. Well, and I personally think it's adding more verbose information that I don't need to see, because if it's in the error log, fatal or whatever above error, I care about it. Even if you tell me it's fatal. Okay, I need to fix that. if it's in the R log, I have an issue. So yeah. So we can talk about it on the work item, but I wanted to chat about it because I had a private conversation with Zoltan, and maybe it was good for the community to talk about it. Maybe I was missing something. So if you please feel free to comment on the work item if you agree or not. So let's take some time for the demos before we have no more time. Zoltan, you said quick one. Nick, we can do yours next week. It can progress. Okay, that's fine. Zoltan, go.
Yeah, it's a quick one. I will try to share my screen. Let's see if I can. Yes, I can. So, super simple module. And Benedict, let me know when you can see my screen. Because it's Benedict recording again. So this is about you having the option to log in as your users and post everything that they wouldn't post, but you know that they want to post.
It's loaded.
So now you can log in and do everything. Benedict, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's loaded.
Okay, cool. So it's super simple. The module is called Login as Anybody. So if you want to use that, you have to enable Login as Anybody. And once you enable it, under Users, you will have another tab called Login as Anybody. And here you can give in a username. And suddenly and magically, you will be authenticated as that user. So I'm logged in currently as admin. So there is another user called user here. So let's see how it feels to be a user. And suddenly we are users. So that's it. This is of course not about doing cheeky things, but rather about debugging. So when you face something that only certain users experience, of course you can do all kinds of fancy stuff to be able to reproduce that. But it's much simpler to just log in as that user, for example, like that, and you can immediately see what that user sees and what the problem there be.
Can I suggest something different? Why not do something like what Facebook did and be able to view the site as a user rather than logging in as a user?
Can't. It's too hard. How do you do your queries in SQL that filter just for a specific user? No, you have to log in as. There is no... Yeah. Not possible. Discussion closed. Thank you. But we like you. I don't want to be a jerk, Nick, but no, this is not possible. Technically, it's not possible. Facebook, they can. I don't know how that. But yeah, I don't know. But this is not possible. How can you do that without logging in at someone?
I'm not sure.
We do dynamic. No, you know that. Think about it, and you will see how obvious is that is no. I like the idea, but isn't it dangerous? Who can enable the module or use the module?
That was going to be my other question. It seems a bit of a security hole.
Because let's authenticate as the admin. Yeah.
Well, of course, if you are somebody who can enable or disable modules,
okay. So second question. So sorry, I'm cutting you. Enabling, disabling, that's fine. Let's say I'm the site owner. I go to your tab, and because I'm the site owner, I can authenticate as someone else. So I authenticate as user 1. Then, if I go to the dashboard, I'm user 1, so I can't go back to admin.
What? Yeah, you can go to the admin now.
So go to dashboard.
You will get access designed because this is not an administrative user.
Okay, that's fine. That's very cool. What is sad is that I'm not sure you can fix that. If I want to switch then back from user 1 to user 2 directly, because I want to test user 2. You know, what I do usually, I create an account per role. I have my editor user, my author user, and so on. So I can test all the roles and what they can see, what they can do. It's very useful. So that would be good.
Yeah, I didn't think about that because this was the use case we needed a solution for. But probably I don't know.
And you know what?
Cookies or something.
Yep, you could do that. You could show it. Yeah, you could do that. Show it all the time. Maybe even on the front end. I don't care because if the module is enabled, it's really for development scenarios or showing the tool. So it should not be in production. But yeah. So if you make it even less secure, as long as it's a developer tool.
Yeah, it's already just for site owners.
Yeah, that's
if
good.
you are a site owner, you can do everything.
Yep, that's a cool idea. Even with a drop down at the top right, I'd like it.
Yeah. Thanks for the idea. I will look into that.
Cool. Bertrand, how was the trip? Don't tell me you can't talk. Maybe he's not listening. He doesn't want to say about. Bertrand? Friend?
He's on mute. Let's have a look and see if he's muted. He's muted.
He's muted, but maybe, and he doesn't have the chat, does it? Not in the IM conversation. Yeah.
I tried unmuting him, but it didn't work.
I wanted to see
what was going on.
That's crazy. You can unmute someone. Oh no, I can't with him, but that would be. Let's try to unmute Benedek. Say something, Benedek.
It's not working.
It works.
Be confirmed.
You can unmute people. Crazy. You enter the privacy. Okay, crazy. Okay, so Bertrand doesn't want and to talk, and I also wanted to talk about Hangouts versus Lync, but Bertrand came up with the ID, so we need Bertrand to talk about it.
I vote Hangouts.
Oh, he must confirm it. Okay. What do you say, Nick?
I vote Hangouts. I think we should move to Hangouts.
Why?
Because my Lync stuff just keeps knocking me off and keeps asking me to rejoin, and it's driving me insane.
Today?
Ever since I made fun of Bertrand,
Today?
it has been doing it.
Today?
Yes, and the last couple of weeks.
So because I moved last week to a new data center, so if today was fine, it should be fine, it should be fixed.
Today's been a little bit better, but it's still pretty bad.
So I see that Christian is no more on the IM. Christian, are you still with us, or is it the same issue that you dropped?
Not on the IM either.
So maybe this is exactly the scenario you are talking about. They dropped the call.
What it will do is it will show you a thing that says, "Would you like to rejoin?" Hit the rejoin button, but it's grayed out.
Okay.
So you almost have to close the window and read.
Bertrand, I can see your IM. Are you back with us, Bertrand? Did you leave the call? Were you dropped? Can you talk?
Yeah. See, he's as a second user.
Yes.
That's the reason why it kicks you off.
So whenever we see someone without the IM, it means they have been dropped out from the call.
Yep.
Battery. No, you see, battery died. So, so we were talking about Hangouts versus Lync, and previously we asked you how the TechEd went. If you want to share some feedback. Now you have some battery. So Hangouts is limited to 10 people talking.
Yeah, 10 participants.
Yes, which I think is fine, because if you look at today, I said some things. Sipke, let's say George, Zoltan, Nick, usually there is also Piotr who talks. So we don't reach 10. What I don't like though, yes, it's unlimited people. What I don't like though is that you have to decide who can talk before the meeting starts, I assume. No, I don't know how it works. How do you define? The chat is unlimited, but the talking?
As in what we're doing, Bertrand.
You can talk, Bertrand, if you want. We accept that. We are fine with French.
He's not one of the participants.
Yeah, we are fine with French accents. That's fine. So did you have any issue today with Lync?
Do you need to install a particular plugin for Google Groups?
I don't know. I've been able to to comment and watch with Chrome.
I'm on Chrome as well.
Can we share screens with Chrome? With, Hangouts?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So you can share screens? That's what you said?
Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yep, I agree with George. I was about to suggest it. We can try and see how it works. Maybe we can do the two at the same time. We could be on we could be. For instance, I don't know. We could be on Lync and Chrome and
and A/B testing.
Oh, let's have Lync connected to Chrome, to Hangouts, and see how they behave. Okay, let's try on Thursday because it's a smaller audience. Let's try that. We'll set up that. Okay, good idea. Good idea to try. Good idea on Thursday. So it's not that breaking.
Is it possible to provide the URL for the Hangouts meeting? Because as much as I can tell, you have to invite.
Yes, I have no idea how it works, how to make it work. And also, can we have the same URL over and over again so people know where to join? I don't know. Okay, let's see let's see how to fix that. We can look into how to organize it. Oh yes, Christian, we saw you left, so we were about to mention did it break actually. So yeah, okay, let's try on Thursday to see how it goes. Good. Any other question?
I just have a quick question. I don't know if AuditTrail is already. Oh, it's okay. Sipke isn't listening, but actually the question is towards him.
It's in one text.
So I just wanted to ask if there's a feature in AuditTrail that displays content changes to users. So I'm thinking about a widget that would say that this and this and these pages are updated. What do you think?
So whenever you change a content item, that the publish event and the saved events, they are logged, and saved event shows the delta between the previous version and the updated version.
Well, yeah, something like that could be, but I was thinking about something simpler. So for publishing a page with changes, would add this event to a list, which can be displayed in a widget for users, so they are immediately informed that there's a page they are interested in is changed. So you go to the website and see that.
I'm not sure how that's different from having the AuditTrail list. So the AuditTrail, you can look at the list of changes that occurred on a specific content item.
Yeah, but that's for administrator users or users who have access to the dashboard. What I'm saying is that there are certain pages on the website that that users with only front-end access are interested in. So if these changes are published again with changes, then there would be a list with the list of the pages that were changed.
And where would you present that list? On the front end for the users?
Well, because they might be interested in these changes, and otherwise they would have to revisit those pages again.
You can provide a link which goes to the admin. Is that an issue?
They would need dashboard access for that.
And that's fine. So that's why Sipke asked you. Should it be displayed then on the front end?
I'd say it could be a simple widget for the front end.
So you can create a widget called page history, and
or change log or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Whatever you want. Yeah. And I'm sure you can extend the AuditTrail with that if you want. I'm not sure we would like it in the AuditTrail. I can see the usage. if you're authenticated and maybe you have the right, you could see the history of the page. Why not?
Could be a nice widget on the dashboard.
It could be, yes, or as if you want on the front end. I'm sure it's doable. It should be very easy to do.
Yes, it should be. It is easy to do, but you'll have to do it. There's nothing currently that enables you to do that.
Yeah,
but
okay.
everything is in place for you to use and implement that.
Okay. Okay, just an idea. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Bertrand, you can talk. Do you want to explain us how your session was at Barcelona? You didn't talk about it at all? Or you don't want to mention that? Bad experience? Bad food on the plane? No, doesn't care. Maybe you are talking because I see you are not muted, but we don't hear anything. No, we don't. We see you are unmuted, but there is nothing we can hear. Okay, so next week then. Great. So see you on Thursday on Google Hangout. We'll see how it goes, and have a good week. Bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Bye, everyone.
See you later, guys.